Nakaloke Islamic. And dear listeners, if I'm to remind you, right from the start, the first round, we've had 13 schools that started with us, and these include Mbale Parents, St. Mary's Busamaga, Nakaloke Islamic, Bugema Comprehensive, Nkoma SS, Nkoma High, Ikiki High, Hilal Islamic, Mount Masawa, Hamdan Girls High School, Resilient High, and finally, University Link. Among these schools, we managed to get the best losers out of them and the winners. For the best losers, we had Bilal High School and Bugema Kong. For the second round, for the quarter final, we had St. Mary's Busamaga, we had Bilal High School, we had Nakaloke Islamic Center, University Link, Nkoma SS, Hamdan Girls High School, and Ikiki High. Out of those that participated in the quarterfinal, they managed to come for the semi-final, and this included St. Mary's Busamaga, Nakaloke Islamic, Nkoma SS, and Hamdan. Unfortunately, for the semi-finals, St. Mary's didn't participate for the reasons I don't know, who are Nakaloke Islamic and Nkoma SS. Dear listeners, the edition that we are having for the debate today is the third. The format under which we are following is the World Schools Debate. Under the theme, Empowering the Next Generation, Navigating Uganda's Digital, Economic and Social Frontiers. In the building, we have our judges, and I would like to let you know that the judges that we are having in the building include Mr. Luwemba Musa. Mr. Luwemba Musa is the HOD of Political Science for the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. He is the research coordinator of FAS. He is also the coordinator of seminar series, and in a few months he will be completing his PhD, inshallah. The second, we have Mr. Mwanja Swamadu, who is in charge of international and refugee students at Islamic University in Uganda, and he is also a lecturer. And finally, we have Honorable Asna Halima, who is a journalist, a coordinator for Eastern Youth, the Speaker of National Youth Parliament, an advocate for the PWDs, Women and Children, working with AIRD. She is also aspiring for Women MP Mbale City. And finally, she's also a business lady. Dear listeners, this debate has been sponsored by special organizations or teams, and these include IUIU government. IUIU government is the body that governs the students of Islamic University in Uganda. We also have IUIU Nursing School. IUIU Nursing School is a school specifically for nurses in Islamic University, at Islamic University in Uganda. We also have the Sport Cafe. This is located on Guga Mall. So for those that want coffee and other meals, they are located on Guga Mall. We have Hilltop View Hotel. These ones have good accommodation rooms. They also have good rooms for conferences and best local foods. They have good services and most importantly, a calm environment. They are located in Mbale City. We also have Katwe Work Limited. These ones are located on Namanyonyi Highway and they deal in sports things. Those that want nets for football, those that want balls and anything in relation to sports, they are located on Namanyonyi Highway. We also have Kambugura Job Enterprise. This is a construction company and it's located in Nkoma. And finally, we have Akajo Naku YouTube channel. This is headed by Mr. Kasinga Lubega Ibrahim. And this channel specifically talks about the history of Uganda from various personalities. Mr. Kasinga is also a programs manager, 93.1 IUIU FM. Please, I will not waste a lot of time in the building. Dear listeners, I would like to assure you of our affirmers and negators. From the affirmers who are comma SS, we have Adupa Jerome, a senior 6 student. We have Tamale Jahaz, a senior 6 student. And we have Hapondi Daniel, a senior 5 student. That's in comma SS. We also have the negators from Nakaloke Islamic Center. And these include Bukoma Okasha Salim, a senior 3 student. We have Bako Gladys Hope, a senior 3 student, and Ndibo Ogeza Latifa, a senior 3 student. Before we start the debate, I would like to call upon our dearest judge to give us a hint on how they will be assessing this debate. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Mr. Luemba.
Thank you, dear MC, colleagues in the room, our dear students, our dear teachers, negators, and affirmers. A good morning to everyone, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I take the honor to welcome you to Islamic University in Uganda. Please feel at home. It is a good morning, and as we all can see, please feel free to enjoy the environment. My name is Luemba Musa, and I will be the chief judge of this event. I thank the members for coming, the teachers and the colleagues who have joined, and those who are joining us online in the diaspora. We are humbled by everyone who is listening to us, and we can't thank you any less. On the table is, on my left is Mr. Mwanjwa Swamad, and on my right is Honorable Halima Asena. They will be colleagues in the judgment. To our affirmers and negators, this is not new to you, and I will just show it to you just to recap and prick up our minds and remind ourselves of how the assessment is done. We have forms that look like this. It's a two-sided form, and on that form there is the name of a judge plus a school, and then plus parameters that we are going to use to assess everyone. Like we've communicated before in our earlier engagements, the form has 10 items, and each item is assessed out of 10 marks. For those of us who are coming in for the first time, allow me to take you through in just a second. The first element on the form is about the content and structure. It involves the arguments, it involves relevance, it involves citations and use of credible sources by our colleagues who are going to, whom we are going to listen to. The second part of the form has delivery and persuasion. And it has confidence, it has clarity, it has voice modulation, and ability to, and eye contact with the members who are within the building. And both items are assessed out of 10, which makes it 20. And then the third item is the rebuttal. The items therein are, one, the ability to identify and refute opponent's view, or key arguments, and then the demonstration of logical flaws or inconsistencies in what the opposing colleagues will be raising. And the fourth item has a relevance to the motion to assess whether you've kept in line of the motion, you've directly engaged with the motion, and then also the on-topic reasoning, factual, for that matter. And then the final bit of the form has the time management element. Whether you have used the allocated time well, and then also whether you have balanced your arguments without rushing or under-developing any key issues. When you sum this up, it gives you a total of 100%. And like we again communicated before, we have 3 members on the table, and each member is going to be assessed by each judge that you see this side. So each member is assessed out of 100, which makes the table to come to 300 from one judge. So it is 300 per judge, which gives a total of 900. So it means at the end of the day, whatever total mark we shall raise up, it will be out of 900. The same will apply to the members this side. That said, I take the opportunity to wish you the best deliberations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luwemba Musa, for that. Dear participants, I would like to remind you that the time that we are using is the usual one, 8 minutes each. So ensure that within 8 minutes, you've exhausted each and everything. Plus, we are using POI, not cross-examination. My name is Nekesa Zabura Vanessa, and I would like to call upon our very first participant from the affirmative side, who is none other than Adupa Jerome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, everyone in the room, in the audience, and the listeners of IUIU FM outside there. My name is Adupa Jerome. I'm going to be the first affirmative speaker on the side of proposition or affirmation. I would just like to inquire whether we are going to have reply speech or not. Shall we have reply speech?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning once again. We have made some tactical changes to the way we are going to have our point of information and reply speeches. We have put off point of information or points of information, and we have adopted reply speech in another way. That after presentation number 1, presenting, it will be non-interrupted speech for all the 6 debaters. Then from the next person to speak from the other side will have 2 minutes to reply on behalf of the group. And then he will continue with his 8 minutes to make 10. So, thank you. I wish you the best.
I hope you've understood, participants. Is it applied to us? Yes, it's applied to all speakers. So, Honorable Adupa.
Thank you very much.
You may start.
Okay, my speech begins in 3, 2, 1. The motion that we are debating today is mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic expansion. Panel, according to the American Psychology Association, they define mental health as an active state of mind which enables a person to use their abilities in coordination with the common tenets of society. But also traditional academic expansion on our side of the house looks like construction of more schools, looks like building more facilities like laboratories, things like libraries, increasing topics into the already existing syllabus. That is how we understand traditional academic expansion. Let's look into the status quo and find out what the problem is that the motion seeks to address. Firstly, we primarily look at the causes of mental health that are very, very serious and with their implications on the major stakeholders of education being students. I think academic stress is one of the causes of mental health illnesses, but also too, societal and family issues are also the causes of mental illnesses. Things like domestic violence, things like poverty, things like death of loved ones, perhaps parents or sisters or brothers whatsoever. Things like pressure to perform well in exams puts a lot of stress on students, and therefore it gives them a lot of trauma that makes their mental well-being to be impaired at the end of the day. According to the Ministry of Health report of 2021, 3 out of 4 students suffer from this mental health we are talking about. On that same research that they did in 2021, they also showed us that 47.1% of Ugandans suffer with the same mental illness. That is to say that the issue is very serious, and therefore it requires some sort of urgency, some sort of immediate response for us to address. I think the impact of mental illnesses look like, one, poor academic performance, because students cannot perform well if they are mentally unsound. But also two, things like school dropout due to failure to perform well. I think if a student has failed to perform well in class, they're most likely to get discouraged with the marks that they get, and at the end of the day, they're going to lose out the interest in education and giving them some sort of incentive to drop out of school at the end of the day. 3, they would struggle a lot silently with suicidal thoughts and trauma. Very many students are traumatized in today's world because they have a lot of things that actually disturb them, but they struggle with them silently. What does that call for then? It calls for us to prioritize a lot of mental health services to provide to these students in order for them to continue with their education uninterruptedly. I think our arguments are going to base on 2 major questions. First, on what is the most urgent that requires immediate attention. What is the most urgent response to solve the problem in the status quo? But also two, what is fundamentally more important that should take precedence over the other? Is it expansion of traditional academic expansion, or it is mental health service provision? On our side of the House of Affirmative, we are going to argue in favor of mental health service provision. A bit of extension on what urgency looks like on our house. I think at a point when 3 out of 4 students suffer because of mental illness, that number becomes too much for us to just ignore. I think then the opposition side should respond to us. How does academic expansion actually gives us a better way in solving the problem of mental illness at the end of the day? But also, notice, panel, that students make the majority of stakeholders who suffer a lot from the consequences of mental impairedness. The purpose of education is to prepare the mind of a child, is to prepare the mind of a student to fit best in the outside world, is to prepare them for academic achievements at the later stage. I think then, if their cognitive ability, if their cognitive function is impaired, then they are most likely not to even finish their cycle of school at the end of the day. That is a very bad impact. And therefore, due to such bad impacts on them, we need a lot of urgency to respond immediately to the situation of mental illnesses. If we do not respond to mental illness with urgency, we are most likely to lose a lot of students by them dropping out of school, but also our education impacts are going to be very, very minimal because very many students are struggling and they cannot perform very well, they cannot retain information well unless their mental health is made sound. Secondly, I'm going to extend on fundamental importance and precedence of necessity. I think it is very important that we should understand that before someone actually studies with luxurious in luxurious schools, with luxurious things like laboratories and what's on the libraries, they should first of all be mentally sound. If they are not mentally sound, if their mental health is impaired, they are most likely not to even utilize the resources that they are being provided to. So I think the point of precedence lies best on our side of affirmative, because students cannot learn using the luxurious expansion if at all their mental well-being is ignored at the end of the day. I think the analogy should come in this manner. expanding libraries and providing a lot of good textbooks in the libraries will not even benefit students very well, because at the end of the day, their mental capacity cannot respond to the use of the services that they are provided with. If you give them a lot of computers, a lot of books in the libraries, and yet they are mentally unwell, they are mentally ill, they cannot read the very books and use them at a later stage. I think that results into two major things. That one, we are most likely to waste resources in providing this expansion, and also two, we shall have a lot of resource allocation mismatch. If you give people resources that they cannot utilize, then you're most likely to mismatch the allocation for that resource. And that is not what we can advocate for. What do mental health services look like? Mental health services are things like mental health hour initiative that exists in school. The problem is that this mental health initiative of 1 hour per week that is supposed to be given to students in order for them to get mental awareness is not being properly funded. Secondly, it is not being properly practical and functional. What we prioritize, or why we prioritize mental health service, is because we want this mental health hour initiative to be practical. But also too, teacher training should be enhanced. I think teachers should be trained to offer basic psychotherapy to students within the school setting. We have things like other organizations outside that help the students with psychotherapy. But primarily, students are in school, they need some response, some sort of advice and guidance from their teachers. So teachers should be given capacity to give some sort of psychotherapy to their students. But also things like awareness campaigns. We have things like MDD in school. Students can be taught to do mental health awareness through dramas, through plays, through dances and singing and whatsoever. We want that priority to focus much on empowering the students in such a manner. But also secondly, things like talking compounds can do us a great deal. I think popular places within schools, within the school compound should have demarcations that give the students a lot of mental awareness, a lot of how they can maintain their mental health at the end of the day. I think lastly and most importantly, there should be engagement of professional counselors to provide better counseling and guidance to students in schools to avoid negative effects of mental problems. Finally,
your time is up.
Thank you very much. I submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Adupa Jerome, a senior 6 student from Nkoma SS coming from the affirmative side. I would like to call upon the second, the first negator. You're welcome, our dear visitors. I would like to call upon our first negator, who is none other than Ukasha Bukoma Salim. You're welcome. Like we said earlier, you have 2 minutes, then you start on your own minutes.
Thank you very much, MC, the judges, the two antagonistic bodies, the audience, and the listeners of 93.1 IUIU FM radio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning to everyone. My name is Bukoma Ukasha Salim, a senior 3 student from Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School, and I am here as the first negator of the motion. Mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic expansion. This motion, as the first affirm explained it, I will add something whereby the motion aims at putting mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities on the front line over traditional academic expansion. The word prioritized means should be put on the front line. Now, meaning that the affirmers are saying that mental health services should be put on the front line over traditional academic expansion. But as we negate, as we say, however much mental health services are important in schools and universities, they should not be put on the front line. But traditional academic expansion is the one which should be put on the front line or be balanced, just because of our different views. Before I can give you my views, allow me to give a reply to what the first affirmer was saying. The first affirmer said that the teachers should be trained in schools so that they can provide so that they can provide those counseling. But I would like to inform you that in universities like this university which you see, they offer psychology course units in all faculties, whereby even in the faculty of education, they offer psychology course units. So the teachers are already trained. The teachers are already trained and they have some psychology. So there is no need for prioritizing mental health services. Yet the teachers are already trained to handle stressed students. He also said that something like luxurious schools will cause students to study well. But I'd like to inform you that if the school is not developed, the students are going to get the mental health services. But if we improve on the schools, then the students are going to study well. In which way? Like, for example, any school in Uganda, if it is having insufficient infrastructures, then some students are going to study under a mango tree. So those students are going to be stressed. They are going to get mental health issues. So we should first develop the schools. We should first develop the schools before we can prioritize mental health services. He also talked about that mental health is the key to academic performance. Yes, it is true, but we can't prioritize it over academics. Without quality education, mental health support won't help students to succeed. He also talked about suicide. Yes, we agree that suicide is serious, but those problems stem partly from the broken education system. Like when a student is given school fees, if he eats the school fees, then he's going to kill himself, and that is suicide. So it is not mental health issues which cause suicide most, but the broken education system is the one which causes suicide most. He also talked about that counseling prevents dropouts. I would like to inform you that most dropouts in Uganda happen due to poverty, school fees, and distance, not just mental health. To begin with, allow me to re-explain the motion. The motion for us, however much mental health services are important in schools and universities, they should not be put on the front line, but traditional academic expansion is the one which should be put on the front line. Or be balanced just because of our different views. Before I can explain my views to you, allow me to outline the views which we are going to give you. I am going to give you the following views: academic excellence being the core, inadequate support, dependence on external funding, cultural resistance, limited access, then balancing the two. The second speaker is going to speak about negative impact on academic performance, Uganda's education system being undeveloped and pressure. The third speaker is going to speak about academic expansion driving national progress. Then she will summarize our views. To begin with, well-prepared academic excellence is the core for the other. You cannot lie to me that these psychologists whom we have, they just became psychologists. They first came from academic excellence. Traditional academic expansion is the core for mental health services. Because even me, I am dreaming to become a psychologist, but I am first passing through academic excellence, whereby I studied primary, that is academic excellence. I'm in secondary, that is academic excellence. Then I will join university, and that is also academic excellence. That's where I look for a course of psychology. Then I will become a psychologist or a therapist, any. So traditional academic expansion is the core for mental health services to exist. So the government of Uganda should not prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion. In addition, inadequate support. We see that the government is trying to give services to different sectors in Uganda, but the services are still very poor, whereby we see that, like in the sector of education, most schools don't provide quality education. Take for instance, we who are here, it is not that we come from Mbale City. We who study from Nakaloke Islamic, we have the ones who come from different districts of Uganda, but they migrated to Mbale City. Why? Looking for better education, meaning that the government is trying to provide services, but they are still very poor. So if they say that they are going to prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion, it is going to become a financial burden to the government, whereby the government will even enter in borrowing money, and borrowing money is going to cause problems to the country. We even have inadequate support. Different schools in Uganda have insufficient classes. And me, I started from Bukasacha Primary School, whereby in my primary, I was among those who were studying under a mango tree. And that one caused a mental issue on my head, and I finished 2 months without studying. So, on that, for me, I see that they should first prioritize traditional academic expansion, so that it becomes the core for mental health services. And if they, like for example, according to Daily Monitor, published on Friday, February 7th, 2025, we see that there was a poor school attendance, and it came from the schools being with insufficient classes, and the teachers were not providing quality education, and the learning environment was not conducive. Honorable judges, for more clarification, allow me present my evidence to your table. To add on, dependence on external funding. We see that most services that are provided to Uganda, the government depends on external funding, whereby recently we were receiving help from the USAID, but now the external funding is unpredictable. You may take, for instance, a parent and a son. For me, my father is paying for me school fees. If my father dies, then my studies will be broken. So the government depends most on external funding, which is unpredictable. We see that even Trump withdrew support from World Health Organization, and Uganda is no longer receiving help from the USAID. So we see that if they are to prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion, which is already there, it is going to consume a lot of money, and it is going to become a burden to their government. Even according to New Vision published on Friday, February 7th, 2025, we see that people protest against the administration of US President Donald Trump's decision to virtually shut down the USAID at the US Capitol in Washington. For more clarification, honorable judges, allow me present my evidence. The Ministry of Finance published in its website of www.ministryofinance.co.ug that when they put the two on a scale, mental health services and traditional academic expansion, if they borrow that money or they get a donation from the foreign government or foreign countries, when they put it on scale, the mental health services are going to consume 60% of the funds, and then traditional academic expansion is going to consume 40% of the funds. So what should we take? We should take traditional academic expansion.
1 minute.
In addition, we have cultural transformation. We see that in the longer run, when they prioritize mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities, it is going to cause a longer-term impact on our culture. It is going to change our culture. Whereby for us in Ibugisu, we know that the guidance and counseling are given by elders and parents. After supper, we surround a fire source, and then they give us guidance and counseling. Now, if they prioritize mental health services in schools and universities, it is going to change our culture. I can give an example of imbalance circumcision. When the government came in with the thing of safe male circumcision, it changed our culture. I draw evidence from my tribe, whereby for us, we are circumcised after 7 days of birth. Madam MC, I request for 1 minute to conclude.
Okay.
In conclusion, mental health services are very crucial in Ugandan schools and universities, but should not be taken as a priority over traditional academic expansion. So members, we already have some existing mental health services being provided by senior women teachers and senior men teachers, and we also have the female wardens and the male wardens who are providing these services. So we should not prioritize them again. We should not take them as a priority over traditional academic expansion. Allow me to rest my case. I remain Bukoma Okasha Salim from Nakaloke Islamic.
Thank you so much, Honorable Bukoma Okasha Salim, a senior 3 student from Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School. I would like to right away call upon our second affirmer, who is none other than Tamale Jahaz. You're welcome.
Okay. Viewers of 93.1 IUFM, people all around, my opponents, schoolmates, a good morning. I would like to raise some shout outs to my patrons for the hard work they have put in for us to be here again for the finals of the competitions. Also, my teammates of the debating club, thanks for being with us up to the finals. And also my teammates, thanks a lot for also being with us until the point of time. And even the judges who are there, we thank you for the generous adjudication and what's so on to the organizers, also for the club, for the competitions. A special thank you for all. I'll begin my speech in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair, what do we understand from side opposition? Is that all what comes in is that individuals at the later stage need mental health. Firstly, on clarity, is that the motion itself centers on what then affects individuals at a later stage. I'll start then on what they call rebuttals. They understand mental health as something that is beyond what they understand. But what my A1 tried to elaborate, that mental health issues are things that affect people from out there. The poverty that you see can affect someone. The depression of someone not paying school fees affects someone health-wise. That is something that we try to tell them at the end of the day. Is that these things that are there, the anxiety that we feel, all feels from starting from the background at home. Where do you come from matters a lot to what then you're going to project at the later stage in school. Understand that in our house, we so much look at what the school projects vis-a-vis what also the parents object. What the parents object sometimes, it is always at a later stage of what then the students or the teachers impact at the later stage. Is that the school's obligation is not only to give you academics or excellency, but rather to prepare a citizen that is able to encounter challenges that are going to be there at the later stage. In their word, they don't look at such challenges at the first stage. Firstly, they came and told us that the obligation of the school is not to give this health service, which is a big contradiction at the end of the day. Because first of all, my A1 told you that there are counseling hours that they give these individuals. That means they so much look at what these individuals look out, because you understand a person who is depressed and is anxious is not going to be able to perform the way you want him. That means they are going to deteriorate in what we call success. In their word, success looks like individuals being in a school that is full of library, is full of luxurious things, but in the mean end, people are depressed over the harsh environment that is there, maybe the rules and regulations that are there. That's something that they don't try to look. But for us, we go deep down, understand the individual. Why is that individual at a later stage? Why is that individual at a later stage being depressed? Why is he anxious? Why is he sad in that kind of instance? Those kind of ideas are the things that we try to project. The obligation that we try to say that at school should always support students' mental health and also emotional health, to identify what then affects students and find a better way of fixing them. If then they only look at infrastructure and money, that means you are diverting from the core obligation of what a school does. That is nurturing a student to become a proper citizen at the mean end. Secondly, if you're to look at what they say that Uganda is having what we call a lot of strains in terms of economics, that's something that we do also accept. Is that what they prioritize, saying that we should prioritize both, is some ideal factor that they have. Already Uganda has cut the budget over the school, they has cut the education budget by 810 billion. That's already enough to show you that already that's a big strain in their what? In their academics. In that kind of sense, we see that making sure that these people have this kind of mental health services will try to compensate the money that has been utilized by these people. Investing so much in the buildings that you are going to have is not going to do much. You are going to just sit there and only relax. What we try to project you is that you are trying to bring out that student. Why are you failing your exam? It's because maybe at home I'm unable to pay fees. That is something that we are trying to connect. We try to connect the connection between a student and a teacher as well, the student and the administration as well. In their word, they only look at what the administration is looking of who are going at the later stage. That is something that we should so much look at. What do students feel at the later stage if you build houses or if you build such infrastructure, but at the end of the day, you don't even prioritize what they feel at the later time. Secondly, we do not necessarily say that these people are going to invest so much. Priority does not mean that all our investments are going to be fallen in the mental health services, but rather a bigger portion towards that kind of system is what is amended. We don't neglect the ideas of building more infrastructure, but for the infrastructure that we have right now are so much enough for us to build more and add more students in that kind of instance. For us, we so much want to see that individual who is having stress, how is that stress being affected, or how is that stress being at the later stage looked at. In their world, they look at individuals sitting down in a classroom, having a lot of books, but at a later stage fail. That comes into the aspect that individuals at the later time will have what we call deterioration in school, and what we call school resuscitation. In that kind of instance, the school's reputation will be taken down, because if students at the later stage do not perform very well because of the depression that we are looking at, because of the stress, because of the number of topics that are there, that means even the reputation and the success that you look will cease to exist in their world. Thirdly, if you look at the aspect of prioritizing, why then do we prioritize something? Is that we understand that a classroom is needed. But what then do we need? Do we need a classroom, or we need the minds of a student in a proper line? I think then we need the minds of a student in a proper line. We don't care where that individual studies off from, but so much is he comfortable in that provision? Does he get all the services? Does he have any issues? It's what we look at. In their world, they only look at big buildings being put there and more subjects being implicated. Already the subjects that we have are already enough for us, for even people to freak out. In UNEB, people go and have that kind of exam stress. People tend to find out in those examination rooms. That already shows you that the implication already of the subjects is enough. What do we need to give them? We need to give them those mental subjects to tell them, you know what, UNEB is not hard the way you think. It is something that you need to first go, revise, and do and so on. It's something that you try to do. That's counseling and guidance. It's what is going to morale boost that child or that individual to go out there and say that, you know what, you never at the meantime, it's not hard. You will not look at the good buildings that you have put there, or the library, or the books, but you will so much look at what you have inspired in him and what you have put. It's that thing that you are trying to show that opposition fails to clarify and fails to understand. On the aspect of also, on aspects of poverty, he tried to mention that poverty causes dropout, but then poverty at the mean end causes what we call depression. Depression in of itself is what we call mental health issues, and it's something that we're trying to prioritize. If that individual out there who is unable to afford money, he's going to be there depressed because, you know what, my fellow students are studying and I'm out here seated. That means it's going to be depressed. What does then that cause? It's going to cause what we call suicidal. What then my A1 tried to tell you? That these people at the end of the day are going to commit suicide, which is not improper. That is something that we're trying to avoid in the mean end. We're trying to make sure that individuals at the later stage have that kind of harmony in that kind of instance. We also look at the cheap mechanisms that they provide. In infrastructures, their mechanisms are one, they're expensive in the way that what the buildings that you have to put there are going to be cost effective. They already told us that the external funding that we get is already not sufficient for us. That means that even the infrastructure that they're going to build are going to be of poor quality. Now, if poor quality is also there, poor quality of infrastructures, plus also the mental health illnesses, what are we going to cause? People are going to drop out of school, and the later stage, the success that you look for, or the progression that you look for, the reputation that the school looks for, will cease to exist in their world. But for us, let us first look at these individuals. What affects that individual in the classroom? What makes that individual not to pass? Is it because of the examination stress? Is it because of what you see at school? Is it because of your family background? It's what you bring there, and try to counsel them. Train them and tell them, you know what, it's not the end of the world. You can still be successful even though you are in a tree, studying from a tree. People are there who have been successful, but they have been studying under the trees. It does not mean that a person who studies under the tree is the person who is going to fail. The infrastructure of a school does not guarantee the success of the individual, but it's someone's mental stability that guarantees someone to pass or fail at the end of the day. It is what opposition fails to clarify and understand in this motion. For us, we so much look at the individual's strain, what affects that individual at the later stage. We so much go deep down to what then encounters that kind of individual and find what are the possible mechanisms we can adopt and try to adjust what then brings to which brings to success at the later stage. And also, lastly, we also tell you that individuals out there, this is a country issue, that individuals, both tertiary and also secondary schools, affect this kind of instance. We also look at what then brings. In 2023, Uganda National Institution of Public Health Survey found that approximately 45% of university students exposed depression and also symptoms, and 30% reported high anxiety for of maybe this kind of credits that they give them. That's already enough to show that these people are already tired of the strain that they have. The questions that you have in the tertiary institutions are already enough for you. The implication that they want to put to bring more subjects in these topics, bring more topics, bring more expansion, but at the later stage we're not finding the core root cause of success and failure at the later stage. With that, we don't ask for anxiety, we don't ask for luxurious infrastructures, we don't ask for something that is very big. For us, what we ask is for teachers to understand that what brought them is to nurture the citizens of Uganda and understand that a Ugandan is a citizen that should be made
Your
prior.
time.
Thank you for listening. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Tamale Jahaz, a senior 6 student from Nkoma SS. This debate is live on IUIU YouTube channel, where you're going to find each and everything. So our dear listeners, if you want to view it right now, it's live on IUIU. I would like to call upon our second negator, who is none other than Bako Gladys Hope. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you, MC, esteemed judges, my fellow debaters, lastly the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me introduce myself. My name is Bako Gladys Hope, a student from Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School, Form 3. And I'm here to negate the motion which reads, mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic excellency. As we the negators, we say that the motion is incorrectly written. It should be changed. I would like to rebuttal from where the second affirmative ended from. Yes, you say that we need a student's mind, not a classroom, which means even in the rainy seasons and the sunny seasons, a student can study under the sunny and rainy seasons. Tell me, how will the student manage to study under rainy and sunny seasons, whereby this can all be solved by the well-developed academic system? You talked about guidance and counseling. We do agree. Teachers study psychology courses in universities, whereby if they come to teach us in school, guidance and counseling services are provided. You talked about the word prioritizing. When we talk about the word prioritizing, we mean it should be placed on the front line. Tell me, if the mental health services are placed on the front line, how will students achieve academic excellency? Yes, it starts from a background, but we are looking at schools and universities where mental health services are already being provided by the teachers and the wardens. To begin with, negative impact on academic performance. This goes straight to the affirmers. Why do you say that the government should prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion? Yet we can balance them. We are not refusing the fact that mental health services are needed. We are only saying that it should not be prioritized over traditional academic expansion. Because if we recap on the main reason why these schools and universities are built is to achieve academic excellency, which means if the government prioritizes mental health services over this traditional academic expansion, more time and resources will be diverted from academics to improving mental health services, which in the long-term run will affect the overall performance of students in both the universities and the schools. Mental health services. How will you convince me that mental health services should be provided in schools? Do you think that mental health services will create careers for all citizens in Uganda? No. But unlike academics, you can study any course you want. You can go to any extent to achieve your dreams, which is not the same case with mental health services. So, as with the negators, we are not rejecting your opinion that mental health services should be provided, but we are only saying that the government should first fix the academic system, because without quality academics, mental health support won't help students succeed. In addition to that, Uganda's education system is still underdeveloped, whereby we see many schools in Uganda still lack infrastructure, such as classrooms, labs, books, and even enough trained teachers. Take for instance, most government schools in Uganda, for example, Bugwere High School found in Budaka district, it has 15 classrooms out of the 40 needed, giving a deficit of 25 classrooms, which force these teachers to teach under trees and a grounded bus. This is not a conducive environment for students to achieve academic excellency. So, we see that these are not my own words. My evidence says it was published on Monitor newspaper on Thursday, 29th February 2024. It says that the headmaster of Bugwere High School, Mr. Aziz, told the Monitor that the school with a population of 5,000 has only 15 classrooms, making a deficit of 25 classrooms. Tell me, where will the other learners get classrooms to study? Where will they get a conducive environment from? If this issue is not worked upon, then the school will not develop, whereby without these education systems, mental health support will not help students succeed. To add on that, these classrooms are not only insufficient, they have ragged floors, leaking roofs, very dusty, and poor furniture. In implementation, the head teacher said, this situation makes learning very difficult for learners. For more clarification, allow me present my evidence to the table of juries. To add on that, mental health services are very expensive and unsustainable, whereby building a nationwide school mental programs will take billions of money that Uganda cannot afford. Remember, Uganda is not developed yet. It's a developing country. And those mental health services, if they are to be prioritized, it needs a well-developed country, whereby Uganda is not one of it. Whereby we see, according to the Monitor, which was published on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024, it stated that much as we are encouraging people to seek help, including going for therapy, psychologists, most Ugandans are unable to afford such services because of their incomes that cannot allow them to achieve these services. Yet, some therapy sections in Kampala city range between shillings 100,000 and shillings 150,000 per an hour, whereby medications for conditions such as depression, anxiety, take 3,000 per a pill, whereby someone with depression and anxiety has to take 2 subscriptions per month. Tell me, where will this person get the money to buy these pills? If we are to add on that, imagine the total cost for a low-income earner who is a student or who has a student who needs to take 2 prescriptions daily for a month for treatment that may stretch for months, depending on the severity of the condition. These economic challenges and expenses makes continuous mental health treatment unsustainable for Ugandans, forcing many of them to abandon their situation and suffer in silence. And these are not my words. They were published on Monitor on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024. Dear judges, for more clarification, I would like to forward my evidence to the table of juries. When we talk about pressure that comes to an extent of mental illness it's not only based on depression, anxiety, but it also comes from the poor education systems we have in Uganda. Whereby we see that much of the pressure students face comes from poor teaching methods, harsh learnings, and also the situation whereby students have attitude against teachers. Tell me, how will these students achieve academic excellency if the government is supposed to prioritize mental health services over the traditional academic services? Expansion. How will you convince not only me, not only the negators, how will you convince the whole house, the entire house, that the government should prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion? So has we the negators. In our opinion, we say that the government should prioritize traditional academic expansion or balance the two. But we cannot prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion. Because
Time.
dear MC, can I request for only 20 minutes, 20 seconds to conclude?
Please. Yes, go ahead and try
Thank
to
you.
summarize faster.
Whereby we see that if the mental health services are prioritized over the traditional academic expansion, this will not only mean underdevelopment of the education system in Uganda, it will also mean education neglect, whereby no student can achieve academic excellence without going to school. To summarize my position in this argument, we say that the government should either prioritize this traditional academic expansion or balance the two, but we can never prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Bako Gladys Hope, a senior 3 student from Nakaloke Islamic, coming from the negative side. I would like to call upon our last affirmer, who is none other than Hapondi Daniel. Please, you're welcome. Order.
All right. Before I go any further, allow me first to give some shout outs. Ladies and gentlemen in the house, the schools, that's to say, I can see Bilal Islamic, thanks for coming. Bali parents, my bro, Masha, thanks for coming. I can also see Nakaloke Islamic, thanks for coming, thanks for making it to the finals. Commences, shout outs to my patrons, thank you very much for loving me, thanks for loving the club and enabling us to be here. Big shout out goes out to the school administration as well. Thank you very much for always funding us. Big picture, Mr. Kanguza Bakari, love you so much. Thank you for always being there for us. Special thanks also goes to the organizers and the sponsors of these debates here. And special thanks also goes to the panel of judges. Thank you very much for always being there. I saw the house very excited. Yeah, my name is Hapondi Daniel. I'm the third speaker from Nkoma Secondary School, and I'd love to wish you all a good morning. The listeners outside there, thanks very much for always being there. So let me begin my speech in 3, 2, and 1. Now, panel, what should we actually first understand from this motion here? We should understand that this motion here is actually, we are not like trying to neglect the traditional academic expansion as seen from the side of the negators. We should actually understand the fact that we are looking at appreciating the traditional academic expansion, but what should we prioritize first here? We should prioritize mental health here first, because we do believe that academic success can only be achieved if a student is actually mentally sound. So if someone has very many things, that is to say anxiety, depression, and other things that are disturbing him mentally, so we do not believe that such a student can actually manage to achieve the academic success that they are actually rooting for at the end of the day. Let us also look at something else here. They are talking about us neglecting the traditional academic expansions here, but we should actually understand that there are already infrastructure that are there in the school. So now let us take a look at an institution, for example, this IUIU. There are already infrastructure that is there. So now, what is the use of actually building more schools, adding more textbooks, increasing the syllabus, and then also the students having very many different mental issues disturbing them, like poverty, things like depression that is actually disturbing them, how are they going to actually succeed? How are they going to have academic success here at the end of the day when they're having very many books to read, but at the end of the day they're not understanding? How are they going to actually succeed here? Let us also look at the causes of let us look at the causes of mental health here. A1 here and A2 came and told you very many things. Let us look at different factors. One, academic pressure. Academic pressure is actually seen in this way here. Someone can actually have pressure, like someone is going to do UNEB, someone is going to maybe is having his coursework, has very many things to do, and maybe he also has other environmental boosters, like for example, poverty. Let us look at our family background here. How is someone going to actually achieve academic success when he has a lot in his mind here? These people are not actually addressing that. They are only addressing things like building schools, also adding infrastructure and adding more books to the library here. They're not attending to the mental health here. Let us also look at something here. My A1 here came and told you that a study from Ministry of Health of Uganda showed that 3 out of 4 students are actually suffering from mental illnesses, that is to say depression, anxiety, and others. Now, how is someone here going to actually, how are those 3 students there out of 4 going to actually succeed academically when they're already having mental illnesses here? Are you going to give them more books to read when actually his mind is actually not in the best state to actually understand the things that are in that book? They should attend to that also. Now, Pano, let us look at what we are actually trying to bring to you here. One, I'm going to give you a comparative here on what Team Affirmers bring and what Team Negator is actually bringing here. We are actually showing to you how urgent it is to show, we're showing to you how urgent it is to prioritize mental health here. Because we are seeing that we should accept the fact that for someone to achieve academic success, as shown on both sides here, one has to have a mentally sound brain here, such that he could actually do what? Succeed. But on their side, they are not showing the urgency of traditional academic expansion here. 2, let us try to show you how mental health sets a foundation for academic expansion here. We are looking at the long-term benefits that we are having here. We are looking at long-term benefits like how? Student retention here. When students are always guided and counseled, and then they are having a mentally sound brain here, we are looking at people here getting jobs. We are looking at people here actually managing to fight on with life. But then on their side here, they are not showing how academic expansion here actually is so precedent. They do not show us how they do not show us how academic expansion is going to help the students here at the end of the day here. Thirdly, let us look at how prioritizing mental health services is actually very, very relevant in solving the problem in the status quo. The status quo here actually is trying to show to you that the status quo here is actually showing us that very many students here are not managing to succeed in Uganda. Why? Because we are having very many different issues that are disturbing these students here. And those issues, they are actually, where are they coming from? They're coming from these mental illnesses here that they're having, that is to say depression, anxiety, and stress here. Now, Pano, let us understand this motion here. We are actually mostly looking at the reason as to why we should prioritize either mental health or should we prioritize traditional academic expansion here. Now, Pano, let us actually get let me show to you what we get from this other side of the house here. They're looking at things like financial burden here. But now this is the question that I would like to pose to them. Getting money from the government or getting a loan from a bank and then building more schools and then getting the money from the bank and then putting in these teachers here to teach these students here such that they can, to guide and counsel these students here such that they can remain in school and then building more schools. Which one is going to be more cost effective here? Let us look at someone getting money and then building more schools, adding more infrastructure. Let us look at someone also adding increasing the syllabus here, because that's part of a traditional academic expansion here. Let us look at also someone adding more books in the libraries here. Which one is more cost effective here? Which one is actually wasting money here? We are looking at resource allocation, resource misallocation here in this world, in their world here. They're talking about things like we should actually that in their world they look at something like quality of education here should actually be prioritized much more better here. But now again, we should actually understand that there's actually the CBC that's actually going on here in Uganda here, and that is what the people are actually using here right now. The CBC is actually under control here. Now, if you're talking about like increasing on the quality of education here at the end of the day, let us first look here at this let us first look here in what is in the context here. We should understand that we are not saying that quality of education should actually be deteriorated here, but we feel that quality of education here is not going to be successful if the students are actually having a very unsound mental mental kind of being in them. Let us also look at community backlash here. That's to say the cultural backlash that they talked about here. They talked about that. If they say that when they like people in their cultures are actually going to be what? Are actually going to be marginalized here. How does it look like? They look like these people here, they all do believe that the elders are already doing things like guidance and counseling here. So now if we put guidance and counseling here in schools here, then we are going to spoil tradition here. We are going to bring down the culture here. So now the question comes in here. How is culture here being connected to education here? We are looking at education here in schools. Education does not be outside school here. Now, when these people here are what? When these people here are actually given the mental health services, when these people here are actually trained very well in school here, there is student retention here. So I do not see any traditional backlash or something like that in this way here. Now, there's a question that they posed to us, and they're like, and they were like, sorry, there was something that they came here, and they talked about that. They were like, if we get this money here, and then we invest more in the mental health services here, then there's going to be something like a diversion of funds coming away from academics and then being put on mental health here. But again, we're showing to you very well here that we are not neglecting the fact that academic expansion must not go on. We are saying that let it go on. But again, what should be prioritized best? It should be the mental health. That's not what they're understanding here. Let us look at something that they're saying things like the people cannot manage to afford therapists here. Now, if they can't manage to afford therapists here, are you going? Are we saying that we are getting therapists or we are getting psychiatrists and then bringing them in schools here to actually give this guidance and counseling and mental health services to the students? Or we are actually also recognizing the fact that there are people like the senior male teachers, the female wardens and male wardens, as they said here, that could actually be enhanced much more. That's when it comes to again to our side, when we talked about teacher training here. Teacher training here is the best solution here. We should actually get these teachers here, add more training to them and emphasize much more such that they can actually teach the students here to maintain the students here in the school here. Let us also look at something. They talked about low student relationship here. As in students are already having low teacher-student relationships here. Students are already getting very many different issues with teachers, as in they're always having grudges here. So now, if a student is having a problem with a teacher here, do you expect that student to be mentally sound? No. So now, what should be done here? We should actually train these teachers here, as I already said. We should train these teachers here, bring them together, and have a consensus that mental health should actually be put first here before academic. Mental health here should be prior here than investing in traditional academic expansion for better academic success that we are looking for at the end of the day here. Now, let us look at something here. Let us look at something like the long-term benefits here. There are long-term benefits here on our side here, because as we already showed to you here in our world here, the world that we're looking at here is a world of students being mentally sound here at school, and not only being mentally sound at school, but maybe even in the environment outside there for better academic excellence here. In that world, they are not showing to us they are only showing to us that there's only academic success here. But again, does academic success here come in without mental like a better mental health here? Now, let us look at something here. I would like to ask them whether people here actually before I ask them, there are very many people here like them. They have dreams, as in Op 1 comes here and is like, he has a dream of one time being a psychologist. Why does he want to be a psychologist? To actually help these people here who are mentally impaired here. So now, if people are mentally impaired and he has a dream, then it means that many people here are already mentally impaired, as already seen in the schools here. So now, these people here are actually trying to show us that people are already mentally ill here. So they should actually have more people, more psychologists, more psychiatrists that actually are going to come here and help these people here to do what? To be better. That's as shown in their side here. Their Op 2 also comes here, and she's like, she has a dream, she has to be, like, she wants to be what? She says that she has a dream and she wants to be successful in life. So now, this is the question that I'd like to pose to her. If her mind is thinking about the poverty at home, if her mind is actually thinking of maybe the boyfriend, if her mind is also thinking about something else here, is she going to actually manage to achieve the success that she's actually wanting here in her life here? So thank you very much for listening. I sign out.
Thank you so much, Honorable Hapondi Daniel, a senior 5 student from Nkoma. I would like to call upon our very last negator, who is none other than Dibogeza Latifa. would like to forward my sincere, heartfelt appreciation to the MC, the table of judges, the two competitive bodies, the audience, plus the listeners of 93.1 IUIU FM. In front is Indivo Gezalatfa, a Form 3 student from Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School, debating on a motion which says mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic excellence. Where we, as the negators, we don't aim at lowering the level of mental health services in the country, but we say the government of Uganda should balance the both countrywide. To start from where the last affirmative ended, he was talking about my first negator, who said he has a dream of becoming a psychologist. He's dreaming about becoming a psychologist, but he informed you that he is going through different levels which are under academic expansion, where he attained the first level, which was the primary level. He's now attending the secondary level, where if inshallah God accepts, he will be able to attend the university level, where he will go in the faculty of psychology. So I would like to tell you, we can't prioritize mental health services over traditional expansion, but we can talk and balance the both. Furthermore, you talked about teachers, training teachers. If we are to train teachers, that means they are going through academic excellence. You can't tell me that a teacher will just come from heaven and fall in class and start counseling students that, dear students, you should not do this and this. You should forget about what you have seen at home. No, of course, he or she would first succeed academically before coming to class and counsel students. So we should first cater for that first point where these psychologists are coming from, where the cancers that we have in the country are coming from. But if you want to assure me that we are going to provide counseling to students, yet we have not excelled academically, then how are we going to counsel them? How are we going to tell them the qualities that they are supposed to acquire in their life process? You talked about how is it connected to the tradition, how is it connected outside. My dear, you are the one who stated at the first place that we look at the students' background, where there is family crisis. If students are experiencing family crisis, then why don't we connect it to traditional academic expansion, whereby they are leaving home, coming to school? When they come to school, their problems that they moved with from home, they moved from home and they have reached school. So they are supposed to be handled from school. You can't tell me that a student who has entered the school will go outside to look for a therapist, yet we have already trained teachers in abundance where they are providing training to all students. Then if you want to assure me that these students, there is no way it is connected to academic expansion, I would like to tell you that you first check your points that you wrote down. You talked about CBC, which is the new curriculum. We have seen that the government of Uganda has introduced a new curriculum, where this new curriculum is of a free will. It has provided us with a free will of research, whereby we are allowed to be with phones in schools. You are allowed to search. They have provided Wi-Fi in schools, whereby if you want to research anything, you are able to access the Wi-Fi and you research, not a teacher imparting you with a lot of notes, which will lead you to depression. You are able to get that time and relax since you have been given the priority. So then why should we prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion? Dear judges, I'm here to summarize on what my fellow negators talked about. To give a review on their presentation, my first speaker talked about well-prepared academic excellence is the call for the other. We cannot have psychologists and counselors if we have not academically excelled. So we should first concentrate on building more blocks where these services will be provided from, buying more textbooks, training enough teachers so that traditional academic expansion is looked upon. Not to take up a breath, in terms of funds, there are already existing programs that we have in the country that have not been fully funded. So if you attend that if we prioritize mental health services, we shall be adding on a burden to the government, not only to the private sector, but to the government too. Not to take a corner from the motion's route, he talks about dependence on external funds, where organizing mental health services in both schools and universities will be very expensive. And this may call for external funding where these funds may not be so reliable to all citizens, leading to an imbalance in service delivery. Furthermore, he properly explained that in the long run, we may develop a new culture, whereby we see that citizens in Uganda will lose the ability of problem solving. They will be used to their counselors solving their problems. So every time they come up, they face a challenge, they'll be running to counselors to solve their problems. On the same route, because of the very limited number that we have in the country, the very limited number of psychologists that we have in the country, mental services may not be fully implemented in all schools and universities. So we should not prioritize mental services over traditional academic expansion to keep the ball rolling. If well planned, he said, academic expansion can move hand in hand with traditional academic excellence. So, why should we again prioritize mental services if these things can go hand in hand? Why don't we balance? He even said the government has already provided the budget for the education sector, which means if the budget is out, it also included the health. The money, which means if the government has already put out the budget to the country, which means that budget, it cannot leave out health organizations in the country, which means there is the money that the government catered for the health services in Uganda. To talk about, we have seen that if we prioritize mental services, more time and resources will be diverted from traditional academic expansion to mental services, where in the long run, students' performances will be affected. And when a student's performances in schools, we are not aiming at the school's motions and visions. In addition, my second negator talked about the broken education system that we have in the country, which is one of the reasons students are experiencing mental services in the country. So why should we prioritize mental services over traditional academic expansion? If academic expansion itself, if it's poor, it can cause mental services to students. Well, if a student is studying under a tree, it's a rainy season, he'll be thinking, oh my God, it's rainy. The teacher is just adding on more notes. It's going to destroy our books. Whereby you find that some students, when they are writing, the rain that is raining, it will destroy their books, which you will think about, if I go home, what will I tell my mom? That we are studying under a tree and my book got destroyed. My mother doesn't have that money. So that is also part of mental service, where he or she will be stressed. So why don't we first cater for traditional academic expansion, and then you tell us we should cater for mental health services in the country? We shall see that this is just all a burden. Many schools in Uganda still lack infrastructures such as labs, textbooks, well-trained teachers. So then if you tell me that a teacher who is not well-trained will come in class and provide mental services, how will it look? A teacher who is coming from nowhere, he's coming to teach me maybe. Let me see. Maybe physical education. Those are the teachers who are not highly trained. If he comes and is teaching me PE, now how will PE help me apart from me doing physical exercise? So, to independently convince the House, academic expansion drives national progress. We have witnessed that education is the backbone of development. Expanding academic programs leads to more skills, innovation, and productivity. Uganda needs more graduates in STEM, medicine, and teaching, not just emotionally healthy students, but qualified professionals to build the nation. If students have access to better learning resources and quality teaching, mental stress may reduce naturally. To conclude, members do get mental services. Yes, we do agree. But to which extent do students get mental health
issues. Some intend to say that over-exhaustion of notes is another way to mash. But the government has tried its level best. It has provided us with the new curriculum where there is researching at a free will. So we cannot balance, we cannot prioritize mental health services over traditional academic expansion. In the long run, it's going to lead to academic neglect. So we would request the affirmatives to join us and fight for academic succession, not only mental health services. I would like to rest my case.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ndiwogeza Latifa. Thank you so much, our dearest participants from both schools. Our dear listeners, please, some order in the room. Some order in the room. Our dear listeners, in the building, we have Nkoma SS and Nakaloke Islamic. These were participating in the finals, and for the affirmers, we have Adupa Jerome, Tamale Jahaz, Hapondi Daniel, and from the negative side, we have Bukoma, Ukasha, Salim, Bako Gladys Hope, and Ndiwogeza Latifa. As the judges prepare, I would like to remind you of our sponsors who are Hilltop View, Katwe Work Limited, Kambugu, Rajab Enterprise, ISU Government, ISU Nursing School, the Sport Cafe, and finally, Akajob Naku Online. I'd like to call upon our very first judge to first call upon our first judge, who is none other than Mr. Mwanja, to tell us on how he has assessed the participants.
Good afternoon once again. It is now Mwanja Soma talking, not debating. So I want to congratulate Nkoma SS and Nakaloke Islamic Senior Secondary School. Thank you for the brilliant work done. You gave us very hard time to decide who will win, but as we've been discussing all along, our work is to see that one school takes the trophy. If it was in our hands, maybe the decision would have been so different. I want to recognize the presence of the university coordinator. To other universities is the Dean of Students. Mr. Sludge, you are welcome. I want also to congratulate all the schools, those schools who have been with us ever since we started the debate, I think 3 weeks back. I want to thank you all. I want to thank Vilale Islamic. I want to thank Mbali parents. Along the way, we've met friends. Others hated us. But sometimes it is very hard when you're a judge. Sometimes people think that you are biased towards a certain school, but that is our work. So now we move to the specifics of the debate. Mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be given much priorities over traditional academic expansion. For me, I summarize this debate in a very simple way. Does money buy happiness? That is now the discussion we've been having. Do we prioritize academic expansion, or we first have the money for our mental health? To me, I liked everything from the both schools because it was them to tell us what they were expecting from the motion. But then at a certain point, I was disappointed with the Nkomeses and Nakalke Islamic. Do we have the structure? If we talk about 1 hour per week? Mr. John, do we have a structure? Is it the teacher giving the 1 hour per week, or we have the status quo of counseling and guidance or mental health services in the university? Giving an example from my O level, the school I went to, we had offices, careers master, we had the school counselor, and then we had also, Nakol talked about it, senior female teacher and then senior male teacher to give the counseling and guidance. But now the issue is mental health beyond counseling and guidance? That is why I was a little bit disappointed. And then Mr. Jorum and the school which was proposing, what are the challenges to mental health? And what are the causes? Because for us, you told us poor academic performance as the major cause of, as one of the causes of mental health in schools. Do we have other causes of mental health in schools? Don't you think it was so important for us to have that prep for other causes of mental health? You tell us, I know with schools we have different challenges. Hunger, when I was still a student of high school, people used to fall in love. I don't know if they still do it. It was also a cause of a disease which I later found that it is not a disease, hysteria, as a cause of just counseling and guidance. That was my time in high school. I don't know if things changed. So, do you have clubs, student clubs in schools for specifically mental health? Straight Talk Club, do we still have such clubs in schools where people come and they discuss issues? Do we have, there was a club you called Youth Alive, Uganda. Then we have AIDS clubs for secondary schools and other tertiary institutions. Do we still have them? Then what are they doing? So I thought that maybe from your point, you had to tell us that. And then to my good friends of Nakal cases, Nakal Islamic, sorry, you did not tell us what is traditional academic expansion. So we were just trying to figure out, are we talking about, because at a certain time someone came here and then he was just talking about academic excellence. Is it the same when we talk about traditional academic expansion and academic excellence? So that was another disappointment in Nakaloka Islamic SS. And then I'm giving, because of the interest of time, I want to give just general comments. When we talk about mental health, mental illness, Daniel told us mental impairment. So were we discussing mental health, mental illness, or someone who is mentally disabled? You know, that time Daniel gave us another term. Now we got another term of someone who is mentally disabled. From the affirmative, not from the debate, but from the affirmative development of a country, we don't use such words. Even if you find me very mad, I'm not mentally disabled. That is something demeaning. So we have to be careful of such terms. And then still with Madame Gladys, we don't have to use past tense when we are talking about something progressive. If we say our education system is underdeveloped, that is not good. It can be underdeveloping or developing. So we can't use past tense for something still moving on. And then to lastly, I want to end with still Daniel. Why do you want to struggle with giving IUIU as an example when we have Nkomeses? Do you know the structure of IUIU? It is so natural to give an example from Nkomeses. And then you're going to give us the other teacher you mentioned who is supporting you, who loves you. I think it was Mr. Shaban. We don't know the role, but maybe you can give a better example. Because when you give IUIU, I don't think you have much information about IUIU. This one still, I did not like the way you said that teachers are having grudges with the students. I don't know if things changed, but teachers never had grudges because they are superiors. They can't have grudges. Maybe they have some issues with the students. With that, I want to congratulate all the schools, all the schools which participated. To my side, you are winners. I got to know schools I never heard of in Mbale. I got to know friends now Ukasha. When I find him on the streets of Nakaloke, I can know that this is Ukasha. There is Masha from Mbale parents. We have Mudathil. We've got friends. For the first time, I had a chance to know that there's a school called Mbale Parents because I'm from Iganga Parents. For the first time, I had to know that there is a school called Vugema Comprehensive. So I think we won as schools, and I want to empower schools and those schools which did not participate and they are listening to us. Please, let people come and debate. It is part of the co-curricular. It is not just football. Even people being able to speak without shaking is also a talent. And I want to, lastly, to also appreciate the participants for whichever criticism, for whichever advice we gave. You went on and you did what we told you. And I'm sure, at least for me, every person was just 100% in confidence, clarity, and eye contact. So, until we meet, I wish you the best. Before you take the microphone, MC, I told these schools that I'm also an MC. Please, you invite me on your promos. I come and I do the MCing. So, I wish you the best. Thank you to our dear listeners of the 93.1 IUIU FM. I wish you all the best for God and my country, Uganda.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwanja Swamad. I would like to call upon our second judge, who is none other than Honorable Asna Halima. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam MC. My apologies to my students. Today I'm not feeling well. Good morning, honorable members. As I always tell you, that debating is not an easy task. So all the schools that have been part of this journey, I want to say congratulations. No one is a loser in debate. Everyone is a winner. So let's take ourselves together and warm our hands and clap for all of us. Everyone who is here, warm up. Let's warm up and give ourselves a big round of applause for keeping up to this end. Let's warm. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Dear debaters, debate is a place where we exercise speaking. And most of us want to become teachers, want to become doctors, want to become big people in the world. But if you cannot speak, then that shows that you're not a professional. So debate is a platform for all of us to practice. And that's why we always encourage that every classroom should send representatives to at least to the competitions. I always say that debate is not an easy task. And if you see someone on the podium coming up to say something, it's really indeed very good. And I want to send shout outs. As you see the speakers who came from is it in Coma, they were giving shout outs. So shout outs to all of you for coming and for keeping this far. Daniel and Tim, you've been good throughout this journey and you've improved a lot. We had very many loopholes from where we started from, but we have seen a big improvement with all of you. And Nakaloke Islamic, this is your first time to the finals, and you being senior 3, senior 4, you really done a very good job. Congratulations. Dear team, and those ones who are not in this debate has come from very far. We started with very many schools, but to the end today we have 2 schools. And any journey that comes to an end, we should always get a winner. And who is that winner? And it is today. So today I'm only going to focus on the winner. Please, if you win this, don't be that happy that we are the giants. You should always give support to these other schools. Work as an example, set up another classroom for you to train others. Because if you can speak, that means if you can convince speakers, that means you're very good. So the teachers, please don't feel bad and don't complain that why did they choose this one. You've also been part of this journey and it has been hard for us to decide who is going to win. So I want to ask you teachers to cooperate, to appreciate everything that is going to come out, and please let's work together. And next time if you're called upon, please come up. I want to say thank you to all of you for coming, and let's always keep in touch. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam. Thank you so much, Honorable Asna. That's an aspiring member of parliament, Mbale City, from Mbale City. I would like to call upon our chief judge, who is none other than Mr. Luemba, to give us his view about this debate.
Thank you, dear MC and members. Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I take the honor to thank the participants who have come this far. It is really some patience exhibited, and we can't thank you still any less. Those listening in and are still part of us, we also appreciate you, and we request that you still keep tuned in. As a reminder to ourselves, the motion of the day has been mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic expansion. The performance, like my colleagues have talked about it, has been surely wonderful, and none of the members did anything less than what we expected out of them. And for that, we are glad and humbled, and we pray that we improve and improve and improve. In the interest of time, I will say a few things. One, specifically, Adupa, I'll make the remarks very, very brief just to keep them on point. One, Adupa, when we say that this is how we understand traditional academic expansion, members outside there will actually be interested in getting you well. Are you saying that this is you as you the person, as the group, or as a general scholarly kind of understanding? So if you had said that this is we as Nkoma or as Nakaloke, this is how we understand, I think that is that would be very good. Then when we say that very many students are traumatized, then the other question is how many, because these are figures that are on record. How many, and who is saying that very many students are traumatized for that? And then also the other issue was to ask whether mental health services in school, if we go back to the motion itself that says mental health services in schools, is this part of education? And are we looking at it as a content within many other course units and subjects that are being done by students, or are we looking at establishing facilities that respond to mental health? I think those were two different things that we needed to operationalize as a group. And you say, like we agreed last time, that for us as Nkoma or as Nakaloke, this is how we defined this concept, or this is how we took it. Then Vukoma, you said that to our farmers, they have psychology, and this is where they get ideas in class and about social life. And then the question is, can we see the nexus between psychology and mental health? Do we have people who are helping others with mental health issues but are not psychologists? I understand most of our parents are not psychologists, but they continue to guide and advise us in one way or the other. So unless you qualify the issue and you say that, within psychology, this is what is special with it that will actually help in mental health or related issues in that direction, otherwise minus that, then the nexus between the two actually has some kind of a thin line. And then when you talk about a broken education system, there are so many questions that people can raise to that, because we are all in the education system. So are you saying that we are in a system where we actually do not have trust in? And what makes it broken for you to feel that all these other issues are coming in because of the system itself? The colleague has talked about the group non-dividing traditional academic expansion, and I think that was well noted by everyone in the room. And then you cited and you gave us evidence, but part of the evidence you gave us was about USAID and in line with health. So if you are supporting education and you present evidence in line of health, you must actually justify why you think that the evidence you are giving up, which is which is in health, actually supports the point of education. Otherwise, it is very easy for someone to think that you are sliding into the side of the farmers by qualifying that when you say it reduces or takes away the support, then we anticipate that we are going to have many mental health related cases because of the absence of the fact that these centers have not been established and the rest. Then Tamale, you talked about the budget being cut by over 800 billion, which was fine. But then where are we getting this information, and does it matter anyway? Because the other person would actually ask whether maybe what if the government is putting this cut because of other related factors, corruption, it is no longer a priority, and the rest. So for you to come up to say that it is cut by this, one, you needed to give us the evidence, but then also to show that this cut has actually affected you as a member in line of the motion, either from the affirming or from the negating side. Gladys, I think mastery of the discipline, but then you also noted that the motion was not correctly written. But we said that motions are correct the way they are. It is you to prove them wrong, and you prove them with arguments, not with just a statement that it was incorrectly written. So we agreed to that. Then you also talked about the issue of guidance and counseling in school, which was a good issue. But then in the guidance and counseling issue, what is the connection with the mental health? Is it addressed therein? So if you can show that schools now have these guidance and counseling centers or counselors, and this is how they help with mental issues, then that would be fine. But to assume that it is just the presence of guidance and counseling, and therefore mental health issues are catered for, I think is to make a wrong assumption. We have so many schools where we have counselors, but when actually the number of mental health related cases is high, despite the presence of the other. Then I was also asking myself whether counselors are psychologists. Do I need psychology to be a counselor? I think that is a question to the members. And then mental health services, they won't provide careers. I think our farmers had so many issues to raise to that. Are we saying that it is a catalyst to opportunities, or it is just about creating a conducive environment for us to go into our careers? And then if also the motion is about mental health and in schools, doesn't it mean that it is catering for both the aspect of health and also the aspect of career in one? And then do we also see people running? Have we seen people? I don't want to say running mad, but have we seen people mentally unstable or indifferently mentally unstable? Stable, because we talk about differently able, differently mental, and unstable, stable, and the same. So don't we see people who are differently mentally able because of career issues? If I've moved around and I've not found a job for quite some time, doesn't that put me in a certain state? So doesn't that mean that then it is the education system at that point has something to say to the mental health of this, or to the mental state of this person? Daniel, I think my colleagues talked about that. Then the aspect of speed, I think we talked about that irrespective of the fact that we have 8 minutes, now 10 minutes, we used the analogy of a computer last time, and we said that computers have RAM and ROM, but I think ROM is what is important at this time. RAM, the speed at which the computer runs. So we said that all of us take in differently. So there are people outside there who are slow at taking in and would actually want to get every aspect of what you are saying. So it means that by the time you jump onto a new point, this person is already contextualizing what you were afore mentioning. And at the end of the day, said, gives up. But yet you are raising an important point, but because of the rate at which we are you are putting it forward, I think it cannot cope up with the speed of the other person. So I think that was said alongside other issues. And then you also cited teacher training. And then the issues, which teachers are we looking at? Are we talking about all sorts of teachers? Are we talking about psychologists like the others we are mentioning? So to that, maybe the best explanation would be that we are looking at all teachers, because all teachers talk to all students and they matter. So me in class, I must talk to everyone, and then I should be able to identify those with issues and the rest. And then Latifa, I think the balance of the motion was fine. Noting that psychologists go through different levels, I think it was also fine. If the problems come from home, are they handled in school? How best can the school environment handle problems which we experience at home? We see our parents, let me imagine them fighting. Let me imagine the big man not leaving food, money for this and the other. At the end of the day, I come to school with all sorts of thoughts about where I come from. Can this be a good environment to handle my mental state given where I'm coming from? So I think that had to be explored well. And you also ended up sliding into the other side, showing that this creates mental related issues because this person cannot concentrate in school. If you leave it at that, then you've already lost a point to the other side, because you've shown that indeed what we experience in school as mental related issues actually stem from somewhere, which is the environments in which we hail from. And then if it is mental health in school, the other question still from your presentation is mental health non-academic? Or can we find mental health in the academics so that we go through the environment, through our connections and talks with the teachers, with the friends, and the rest? When you also use the example of rain for those who study under trees, what then happens when I begin to imagine, my books, my uniforms, and the rest and the rest? That is already a mental state. And when you slide into that, then you are also sliding into mental health. So at the end of the day, it means you are supporting the fact that I will first think about my books and books as my academic requirements, but not actually the education itself. So I'm like, I have this uniform, these books, they are going to be, destroyed or disrupted by rain. And that itself keeps me thinking about so many other issues. So I cannot concentrate in a school environment. And when you leave it at that without actually completing it, then you are sliding into the other mental related issues that are going to be created after that. So I think with that, let me end there. But I thank the members, and it has surely been a very, very good show from the members. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, our Chief Judge. Thank you so much, our Chief Judge. The announcement for results will be later. So for now, it's time for prayers. I would like to break off. We go for prayers, then come back later, if you don't mind, please. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you all back to our debate. I will not waste a lot of time. I'd like to recognize our dear coordinator, university coordinator, Mr. Mohana Siraj, our guildy president, Sheikh Sebulime Swabur, and the VR who is on his way. We are going to have speeches from these visitors of ours, and since I don't want to waste a lot of time, I'd like to right away call upon our guildy president of Islamic University in Uganda, who is none other than Sheikh Sebulime Swabur. You're welcome, sir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. First and foremost, I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has enabled us to make it up to this moment. In the same way, allow me thank the university management, helmed by the rector, Professor Simbwa Jagenda, for their support to this function. It wouldn't come to a success if they did not stand in to support it. In the same way, I would like to also thank the organizers plus the funders or the sponsors who have demonstrated a spirit of generosity as emphasized by our religion and humanity. We can't leave their efforts unnoticed. We really commend them for that. Still, I would like to thank the participants all the schools who managed to stand in to come and participate in this competition. Allow me say that kudos. You really need to be congratulated for that. And you are winners, as said earlier. After that, I would like to draw some emphasis on the fact that this mighty university has all along been supportive to youth engagement. And in such avenues where the objectives of education for sustainable development are fostered, this university has always prioritized such. The skills such as public speaking, critical thinking, which are fostered in such engagements, are key in as far as education for sustainable development is concerned. So this university is taking a front in ensuring the attainability of the ESDs. And through this, I would like to implore all schools, even those that have not managed to participate in this, to always come in and participate, because this not only involves shaping of ideas and personalities, but it's an avenue where students are given space. They're given space to express their stance in as far as different motions are concerned.
Participants, like you witnessed, participants have assertively managed to say something, to expound the conundrum in the motion, and it has been really awesome. And I again say that kudos to all of you who have managed to participate in this. With those few remarks, as a student leader, this is very interesting, and it is promising that we shall have future leaders who are able to represent or to present their ideas assertively, like we've seen the participants just previously. It is very promising, and I implore you to go on and keep up with this spirit, because it is for your own benefit. First of all, you get self-esteem, self-confidence, and other values that we need to prosper in our lives. So with those few remarks, I would like to thank you for coming to this function. I would like to thank the participants, the organizers, the top management team for always being supportive of such initiatives. This is the third debate competition organized by IUIU. So it is great. The IUIU management needs a credit, because this is very vital in such an era where the Gen Zs need to be prioritized, they need to be given space to express their views on different matters. So I really give them a credit in that. I remain Assembly Member Abdul the Lead President of in Uganda. I thank you for listening to me. Barakallahu fikum. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.
Thank you so much, our dear good President, Islamic University in Uganda. Honorable, Sheikh Sebulime. I would like to also call upon the radio team, and I think the representative is Mr. Lubega Ibrahim, who is the programs manager, IUIU FM. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of IUIU FM, I'm Lubega Ibrahim Kasinga, the program's manager. We are glad for organizing this debate. This is the 3rd edition. And I have achieved something because our intention was to see that we move from debates where points are thrown like arrows to debates where points are discussed, researched, and then reasoned about. So we are happy and glad on that. We have seen another change since we started. In the previous editions, debaters were actually not eloquent enough. They didn't even know how to give reference for their points. But today, at least, we see Daily Monitor, New Vision, and then reports from Ministry of Health. That is actually awesome. Thank you so much. From here, we have started a program. It's going to be for you, the students, across all schools, where you're going to be hosted, and then you reason out the current affairs topics. Because there is a statement that says, wise men come from the east. Yes. Of course, we mean even women, not only men. We mean, yes, men and women come from east. We receive the fresh light because we also know where the sun is from. So we have to put this in practice, practical. We have to show the entire Uganda that indeed we receive the fresh light. Okay? So if you look at the reports, from UNICEF, WBOS, that talks about education. Eastern region is among the regions that are ranked poorly in performance when it comes to education. So we have to change this. We have to change this. So this debate doesn't stop here. We have to see MPs that can reason. Okay? That are going to represent people with their views, and they can challenge those who are corrupt. This is our mission. We are not all about giving out the trophy today. No. We are looking at the future. and this is IUIU, and this is Islamic University in Uganda, and this is Lubega Ibrahim Kasinga, the programs manager. I'm willing to do this, and please, the teachers, the patrons, let's work together for the future of our nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lubega Ibrahim Kasinga. That's the programs manager and the CEO of Akajo Unaku Online. I would like to call upon the PRO representative, who is none other than Naloka Xavier, who will later invite our university coordinator. You're welcome, sir.
All right, thank you very much. The Vice Rector, in his absence, we know he's coming shortly. The Dean of Students, Mr. Guild President, Chief Judges, members of staff and students. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Now, my name is Nauka Xavier, and with the utmost humility and pleasure, I'm here to give a communication of the Public Relations Officer, and that is none other than Madam Kantono Rehema. Now, to start with, I would like to appreciate the participants of this awesome event, right from the students themselves, the members of staff, the organizers, and everyone. And first of all, I would like also to thank the schools that were here previously. Some of them, I think, include Nkoma SS, Nakaloke Islamic, Hamdan, Bale Parents, and we have also seen that Nakaloke Islamic previously was eliminated. Was it in the first round? But we are happy that we have them on the finals today, and also we have Nkoma SS on the finals, and they were also finalists in the previous competition. Would like also to thank the new members on board, the new schools. Do we have them in the room? Those that are participating in this event for the very first time. Do we have them here? Maybe we shall recognize that also. Thank you for joining the winning team. And I've been informed that some of them include Manafa High, Resilient High School, and Mount Masava. I would like to thank the school administrators of the schools that are participating. Thank you for your support, and not just in this debate, but also in other endeavors, including our school admissions. Each time we approach you with certain initiatives, you always welcome us with open hands and are always able to support us with information, with the students and all that. So we value your trust, and also that you also remain committed to nurturing young and future leaders, because we know that the young people are the leaders of tomorrow, and it is very important that we focus and ensure that they are nurtured and given attention. Well, the PRO informed me to inform you that IUIU continues to grow, and we have new programs, and we are also happy to inform you that we have the new Faculty of Engineering. I'm not sure if some of you have seen it or been there, but it is just across the other side behind the School of Hygiene. If you get time, please feel free to go there, and whoever you find there, just introduce yourself and tell them you want to tour. They will be glad to take you around. We also have new programs around. Some include the Masters of Communication and Media Studies, and we also have Agriculture double main, and that is in the Faculty of Agribusiness and Natural Resource Sciences. So for those that are in the room and you are free, you are in Senior 6 or Senior 4, we also have programs for those that are in Senior 4. You can come and join our School of Nursing. We also have other certificate programs in other faculties. So please, feel free to come and join the Islamic University in Uganda. So under the Faculty of Engineering, we shall have various courses that will include civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and also we shall have courses in computer right there. So upon that background, we'd like to invite all of you who would like to join the Islamic University in Uganda to come and join us, because we do have admissions in August. If you do have brothers, sisters, uncles, and any other relatives or friends that would like to attain higher education, please feel free to inform them to come to the Islamic University in Uganda. All the information is available on our website, but also they can visit any of our campuses. For those in Mbale, can come here, and those in Kampala can go to Chivuli, Kampala campus, or for those that would like to join the females only campus or university in Eastern and Central Africa, that is Females Campus Kabocha, and also up north we do have Arua campus. You can join us right there. So IUIU still remains one of the best private universities here. That can be evidenced in the facilities we do have, including laboratories, libraries, and for those that would like to join the mass communication department, we do have a radio station that is even on air. And I would like to take this point also to thank those that are listening to this program live on 93.1 IUIU FM, that you're doing a very great job. So for those that would like to join that program, it is very open, and you will get first-hand skills, and you are free to come and join the Islamic University in Uganda. We do have certain programs, even for those that are non-students, especially you, the high school students. We have a program dedicated to high school affairs. So come and join, come and host these programs. We did not make them for us, we made them for you. So come and join the Islamic University in Uganda, take part in these activities, and they will help you nurture the talents you do have. It could be in communication, it could be in anything that you are involved in. So as a wind up, I would like to thank everyone for participating. Like I said before, the schools, the students, the university for organizing this particular event, and everyone who is participating, even those that are right here. Please give a round of applause to those that are in front here. It takes boldness, it takes critical thinking, it takes a lot of research and everything to actually appear in front here and be able to say something. And I've seen very great improvement, because I attended the previous debate, and I would like to tell you that this has been very different, because these guys have made research, they're very organized, they're very articulate, they're very bold, they're very, they own the floor, yeah? Thank you very much, guys. And I think the guy in glasses, I can't remember your name, please. Yes, Jerome. We had him previously, and I would say you are very good at what you do. Please continue. And I hope that you get something great out of it. Thank you very much. So, as I come to an end, I would like to thank everyone for participating, for all the schools, whether you have won or not. The mere fact that you have come here, you have already won. Being able to participate, being able to think, being able to research, and being able to express yourself. It takes a different kind of energy to come here and be able to tell people what you think, you know? So, thank you very much for doing that. And we look forward to seeing you at the Islamic University in Uganda. I will not take a lot of time. I'll thank everyone for coming. And at this point, I would like to... thank you very much. I will not take any more time. My name is Xavier Nauka on behalf of the PRO, Ms. Rehema Kantono. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naloka Xavier, PRO representative. As we are waiting for our guest to reach, I would like to take this opportunity to invite one of the debaters, in fact two from both sides, to tell us how they have felt about this, in fact to give us a speech about this debate. So I will call Mr. Ukasha, or Honorable Ukasha, to take the floor. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, MC. As you have heard, my name is Bukoma Ukasha Salim, and I am very grateful that I have reached on the finals, because it is a very long journey. Last year, in the second edition, our school went off from the first round. But at least God has helped us and we have reached the finals. I really feel very grateful. And great thanks go to the judges who have guided us since we started the debate. In the first debate, they guided us and we tried to follow the advice and we changed somehow. Even in the second debate, they gave us some advice and we tried to follow it. And again, we changed somehow. Then in the semi-finals also, they gave us some advice and now we're on the finals. I'm very grateful that you have given us the last advice, even if we are not continuing the debate. I know you know that we shall participate in any other debates which may come. So thank you very much for the guidelines. Great thanks go to the staff members of Nakaloke Islamic for preparing us day and night so that we can debate perfectly. Even if I cannot call ourselves to be perfect because they have not announced, they are going to announce the winner. But at least great thanks go to the staff members of Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School for helping us so that we can develop confidence skills and many other things. I also thank the head teacher of Nakaloke Islamic for the great work done to apply for this debate, because there are many schools in Mbale City, but they didn't participate in this debate. We have very many secondary schools, but we were among the 14 which were chosen to participate in this debate. I'm really very thankful. And all the schools which participated, thank you very much for participating. And you gave us a very high time to express our views, because if you are not around, we would not have debated. But you were around and you applied and you are among the 14 and you helped us to also participate in this third edition of the debate. Thank you very much. I would like to end there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you so much, Mr. Ukasha Salim. I would like to call the other member from the opposite side, who is Adupa Jerome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, moderator, for the invite. I would like to appreciate the organizers firstly for this event. It is quite educative. We learn a lot from these debates. I'd also like to appreciate our dear head teacher, Mr. Kawanguzi Abubakari, the head teacher of Nkoma Secondary School, for always giving us the necessary support towards our achievement of the debate career. But also, most importantly, I would like to appreciate our debate patrons for always giving us their time amidst other very important things that they would have attended to. And I'd like to congratulate as well all of us for turning up in such a number. A brief comment about the debate that we have been going through. The judges have always given us very deep insights. Sometimes we assume during our research that we have exhausted what we should present. But if you hear the comments from the judges, I think where we stop is where they begin from. So we are so grateful, our dear judges, for the insights that you've always given us. Sometimes we assume that our research is all that is necessary. But what we get from you at the comments after the debate round, it always shows us there is too much to learn, and we are grateful for that. The debate has been very challenging. I can't deny that fact. At some point, we won a team by only 4 points, and our hearts were almost breaking that we were losing. So we had to undergo a lot of pressure, but fortunately, we thank God that we have reached the finals. And if in case we win, all the thanks back to God and the people who have always engaged together with us. We appreciate you so much. For our opponents, Nakaloke Islamic, it is a very good improvement. If in the previous edition you were disqualified from the first round. I'm so impressed that right now in the third edition, you have made it to the finals. And perhaps, you never know, you may even be the winners of the day. Very great job. As the chairperson owner from Mbale City, we have 37 secondary schools in Mbale City. But so far, we have only 14 who have participated here. It is really a great response from your particular schools and administration. And we encourage that those who have not made it to make it here, please next time apply and be part of this educative event. We appreciate so much the Islamic University in Uganda for making such a very educative and engagement occasion. Please, we request that we even put on more gear so that we are competitive at the national level and even beyond the national levels. We shall always thrive. I would not like to speak so much because we are already waiting eagerly for where the trophy will go and where the medals will go. I'm sure my friends there are on high pressure on whether they will take it or not. We are also glad that we took it last year. I don't know what this year may bring for us on the table. But whatever will come around, we shall agree to it because, sincerely speaking, the judges know what they are doing. You can hear from their comments. They really know what they are doing. We can't object. We can't complain to anything that they have decided. Thank you very much. I'd love to stop there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Are you worried? The cup is going, the cup is not going. Everything. Why would you be so scared? Both teams, in fact, okay, both teams were very, very good. I even remember when Mbale Parents was together with Nkoma. It was very, very hard. I think it was by 1%, right? By 4 points. That was 1%. Yeah, but I will not waste a lot of time. I would like to call upon the university coordinator, Mr. Muhwana Sidaj, to tell us a few things, to give us what he has brought for us, please. You're welcome, sir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وبعد. Our Vice Rector in charge of academics in absentia, we know is coming. Our public relations officer represented here in this house. Our program officer, IUIU FM, which is the chief host for this third edition debate for this year. Our moderators, and among the moderators, we see our Deputy Dean, Faculty of Social Arts and Social Sciences. Our staff, IUIU, the staff from sister schools that are represented in this house. Your Excellency, the Guild President, IUIU, together with the other guild leaders who are present here in this house. I see other students leaders from different faculties. I see Mr. Waswa, who has been our president. NASNAM, that is the body that joins the nursing students at IUIU, but also it is a national body. Our debaters, and then dear students, the participants who are here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have been mentioned by names by our MC, and I believe that every person who is here still remembers the name. Since you have been very good debaters, what are my names? My name is Mukhwana Siraj. And in most cases, I don't mind about that. That was also part of the debate as a quiz. So don't mind about that. My name is Mukwana Siraj, and many people, those who may not be in position to pronounce that one very well, instead of saying Mukwana, they have always changed that last A and they put it there O. And when you change and put O, it reads Mukwano. But it is something I'm proud of because it does not give a bad connotation. It is true that I am a Mukwano. I'm a friend to all people, most especially students. I am a teacher by profession, and at least at secondary level I have taught from senior 1 up to senior 6, and also headed those schools. I see here in commerce, yes, those were my OBs I went through. I don't want to bias the judges. Let me talk about, but with you do your work diligently. Commerce, yes, is my school, so I'm a product of Nkoma. I'm also a product of Progressive, very progressive. We formed the third lot of that school when it was being established many years before your parents thought of producing you. I also became now, and some of these schools here, I participated in establishing them, Mount Masaba. From day one, from the day the idea came, I participated in establishing it, and at the same time also headed it for 8 years, having been in various positions. So whatever we are talking, and it gives me great pleasure to always interact with the students in any fora where we normally meet. At this occasion, when we are now finalizing our debate, the third edition, I would like to most sincerely extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the chief organizers and the host, that is IUIU FM, represented in this house by Brother Rubega. We know we cannot pay you enough, but at least when we express our appreciation in the word thank you, we really mean it from the bottom of our heart. We thank you for this initiative and for being so creative, to the extent that this does not only sell out to the university through its creative programs, but the real beneficiaries of this program are our students whom we are interacting with today. We are sure that those who participated will never remain the same. We hope that this will be expanded such that very many schools beyond the 14 can be in position to participate and we benefit. Members, I know that I was here listening and people said this has been a long journey. It did not start today, meaning that all of you, the judges, the teachers from various institutions, and the team, the IUIU team, and everybody involved, they have been working hard to ensure that this is a success. We congratulate all of you upon moving all this long from the time when you started this year's edition, the debate, up to today. In a special way, we thank your teachers at various schools who have been training you, but also the teachers who supported you to come here. Our judges, you have done a lot. Without you, the students have given testimonies who would have not probably come to this point here. We thank you for your good work and also dedication and sacrifice. Members, they have said this. Debate is not merely debate, but it comes with a lot of benefits. Number one, in the era where we are entering a competency-based curriculum, which requires now the hands-on and also critical thinking, we see that one, not only are you trained in public speaking, And not only does it come with the confidence and creates confidence in you, but also promoting research skills. I have seen some people articulating issues, and even before I came here, we were doing official work there, I was listening. And I saw that these students who are here, I don't want to say they are better than some parliamentarians, but they are as good as the current parliamentarians who are there. If they took you today with these brains to the Parliament of Uganda, you can debate very well. And this is the beginning. So I would like to see all of you tomorrow as we sit and watch you on TV and we say, those are our debaters. Those are our debaters. Then the issue of appreciating other people's ideas. As this one is debating, the other one is listening. And I can see practically you are good listeners because you are listening. So communication skills before the public. I was attending one of the graduations of a certain graduate from somewhere, not of course IUIU, that can't be. On his own graduation, they asked him to come and address his guests. Then he stood up and they said, Inirugisu, mai, baba, umujeno mukuru, mwesi, baba simira nabi. They say, all of you, mother, father, what, all of you, we welcome you, we are very grateful to receive you. Then now later on he did like this. We watched. Oh, at this moment, dear members, we recognize the arrival of our Vice Rector in charge of Academic Affairs, Dr. Serwanga Jamil. He has said you sit. He has said you sit. Doctor, you are most welcome. Doctor, you are most welcome. Yeah, you are most welcome. No, this is yours. Thank you very much. You are most welcome, dear our chief guest. Thank you very much, Doctor. So as I wind up, the person who had invited his guests now just did like this. Then later on, he asked the people around, now, what can I now say? For us, we said, we don't know what to say because you invited us. And we had come to witness and celebrate together with you your academic achievement. He said, he just began laughing. Then later on, he said, you know, in Rugisu, he said, this one, these things are not possible. He gave back the microphone. But now to witness younger people like you speaking and articulating issues like that, this is really very wonderful. This motion here, the debate, the theme for the debate was really timely, touching issues of mental health. Dear members, for us who deal with the students and dear chief guest, at this time, we note that mental health related issues at all levels, both at universities, but also in the lower levels, secondary and everywhere, as far as low as primary, these are real issues in our society. We have had very many students in schools. Today I was somewhere. My colleague called me somewhere to go and discuss something before I came here. I saw a certain girl collapsing. They carried and brought her to the office. And then I said, what is the problem? She was just like this. But later on, when the teachers talked to her, we realized that there are domestic related issues that now trickle down to stress students. So we have home-based stressors that cause mental health. Economic hardships in the schools, everywhere you want basic things, they are not there. There are also drug-related issues. We know our communities now have been flooded with drugs and drug abuse among younger people. we see all those things coming and becoming a problem. We see others are social related to the way we spend our life and all that. Me, I've ever participated somewhere to Kare. Now I'm talking now out of experience. When I was heading somewhere, 30 minutes, I'd seen a girl in school 30 minutes before. Now, after 30 minutes, I was called head teacher. So and so X, Y is dying. I said, hey, of what? He has just crossed here and he greeted me. I said, she's dying. I told the matron, you go and check on that girl. She also came running. The girl is dying. I said, guy, we call the driver. Let's take her to the what? To the hospital. Now, because of the condition, I didn't want the matron to go alone. I also said, let's go together. Sit in the vehicle. Let's take this girl. Get other girls to follow. We took her to the hospital. When we reached there, the doctor said, okay, you let her to lie down here. But I was curious really to know what is really this girl suffering from. The doctor said, no, headmaster, you first wait. We shall handle. So I left them to handle. Now, after some short period, I went and checked. Because my worry was that the girl was badly off. She was about to die. But the doctor said, we are handling. So after 15 minutes, I went and checked. She was now looking well somehow. When I went back after 5 minutes, now she was seated on the bed. When I went back for the they had put just this glucose. They say, is it normal saline and what? Me, I'm not a medical doctor. Me, I'm a teacher. And my teacher is a doctor, is here. Not a medical doctor, but a doctor through books. Mental doctor. So finally, she was discharged after 1 hour. Now, I told the matron that you go back with her. Me, I remained behind. Said the doctor, what is the problem? He said, you know, we had feared to tell you. But I said, no, me, I'm a teacher. We keep those. When we understand the people's problems, we can be able to say, this girl, I think she just had thoughts. The real disease is hysteria. And the hysteria is a disease that is not caused by bacteria, not even viruses. So he said, is that the thing? After also having a lot of pressure, then one of the prominent people here, I will not mention by the name, also had a daughter. She was admitted in Masaba wing. And then the same thing came. Let me summarize. I don't want to take a lot of time when the doctor is about to talk to you. Finally, on that case, the girl was badly off. This was somebody at university level. Now, they called the father. He was a Hajj. They said, Hajj, do you know? We are just requesting you. This girl is not sick. But she's thinking about somebody who is very deep in her life. So, we request you, the only you people parents, you wait. We only request you that you allow us, as you go out, you allow us to call that person to come and sit near her on the bed. She will be fine. The father said, what are you talking about? No, I cannot allow that nonsense. At least at my home, I'm not a poor man. I have enough land for burial. Let her die. I can't tolerate that nonsense in my home. Let her die. I have the vehicle. Yeah, the vehicle, is it UAG, something 800, is it 600? I even remember the road. I will carry this vehicle. I go and bury. Even my home is not very far. I can't tolerate this. Continue treating, but if I see that man around, I will kill him. So I said, we bury too. Those are issues that are there in our communities members. This is why we are saying. So therefore, what do we draw from this debate? I know people we are bringing this, we need to do this, or even coming up with proposals and recommendations on how mental health related issues can be addressed in education institutions. I heard this one. So therefore, we believe that when we go back, we get these, especially people organized this, we compile these recommendations so that we can share and we see how this can benefit us. Finally, I congratulate all of you who have participated, but at the same time, I know, dear chief guest, they are about to announce those who performed slightly better than the others. So those who will come next and next and next, we don't say you have lost. No. You have only lost the battle, but won the war. Because the battle, you have not made it to the what? To the final destination point there. But your participation means a lot in this competition, but also the advantages that we explained before at you. I don't want to say a lot beyond this. Dear chief guest, about IUIU, Mr. Xavier, our PRO, has elaborated a lot to these students. So for me, I will not go into that, such that I stop somewhere. And then we are also told that this debate has always been organized by IUIU as an annual event. And for 14 schools, you said 14 schools participated in this third edition of our IUIU debate, which we are winding up today. And then here we are represented by how many? The two who made it to the final. That is Nakaloke
and
Islamic Secondary School and Nkoma SES. We thank you very much. I beg to end here. We thank all those who have supported this activity from the beginning upward. And sincerely, we thank our partners for all the support that has been given. I remain Mukwana Siraj, the university coordinator. I first say.
Yes.
We thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Doctor is my teacher. This is why I'm seated beside him. So I'm his son. So tomorrow we want also to cross from there. And then you cross this way. But people were about to ask that when we all cross this way, shall we not remain? No, your children will succeed and sit in those seats, but with you keep on coming. And more so when you go through IUIU. We wait for you. Certificate courses are there, degree courses are there, master's courses are there, PhD courses are there, all waiting for you. Mr. Xavier explained the courses. Should I waste again time? Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohana Siraj, the university coordinator. Before I call our VR, you know, we couldn't serve food, the food of our results, I mean. We couldn't mention our results unless if the guest is here. So please, doctor in the building, we have two teams. The ones that have managed to reach finals. That have reached finals, and this is Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School and Nkoma SS. They're the ones that participated in this debate for the fight. For the finals, and we wanted to deliver results when our guest is here, so that each and everyone should, you know, be told by them, should hear by themselves. And please, the two teams, I pray you decrease the pressure and don't look at me like that, please. Do not look at me in that manner. Whatever results or whatever statements that our chief judge is going to tell us, please, that is the final say. And I'll not waste a lot of time. I would like to take this opportunity to call upon Mr. Luemba Musa to tell us the results. But I think before you start, please breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Take that deep breath. Please, yeah, the oxygen should be enough. Please. So, Mr. Luemba, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allow me to thank the chief guest for making time off his busy schedule to be with us here. Allow me also to inform the chief guest that the motion of the day has been mental health services in Ugandan schools and universities should be prioritized over traditional academic expansion. In the room, like you have been told, dear Dr. Vice Rector, we have Nkoma SS and Nakaloke Islamic. Allow me also to inform the chief guest that we are 3 judges. I myself, Mr. Mwanja Swamad, and then Honorable Alima Asena. Allow me also inform the chief guest that each of the judges was assessing each of the members, the participants, out of 100. And the entire team was assessed out of 300 for each judge. And for the 3 judges, the entire team was assessed out of 900. Allow me also make it clear that these are independent assessments. That is why you didn't see us looking into assessments of the others, for transparency to each and every member. Take it in good faith, take heart that these assessments have no bias whatsoever, and they are independent assessments. My role was to put all of them together as one and announce the final results. I'll start with Nkoma SS. Judge 1 had 77 plus 83 plus 79. This gives a total of 239. Judge 2 had 88 plus 87 plus 84, which gives a total of 259. Judge 3 had 86 plus 79 plus 80, which gives a total of 245. When you add 239 plus 259 plus 245, you get 743. So to that, Nkoma has 743 out of 900. When we go to Nakaloke Islamic, Judge 1 had 75 plus 76 plus 82, which gives a total of 233. Judge 2 had 87 plus 83 plus 76, which gives a total of 246. Judge 3 had 84 plus 88 plus 82, which gives a total of 254. When you add 233 plus 246 plus 254, you get a total of 733. So Nakaloke Islamic has a total of 733. Nkoma SS has a total of 743. With that, I declare Nkoma SS as the victor team. Thank you for listening, and allow me also inform the members that it is a difference of 10 points. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, thank you, our dear judge, Chief Judge, once again. With that effect, I want to take I want to recognize the presence of the Vice Sector Academic Affairs of the Islamic University in Uganda, Dr. Jamil Serwanga, and I've been given a task to invite the university coordinator to help us invite the Vice Rector Academic Affairs to address the congregation.
Dear members, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have been given a task of kindly inviting our chief guest, who is none other than Dr. Jamiru Serwanga. Dr. Jamiru Serwanga is currently our Vice Rector in charge of academic affairs. Doctor has worked in various offices over a period of years with vast experience in teaching, research, and publication. Doctor has ever been head of department. I just want to make a summary so that you learn something from that as a source of inspiration. I don't want to be so much specific, but a summary within a few seconds. Head of department. Doctor has been a dean of faculty of social sciences. Doctor has ever headed a Center for Postgraduate Studies, IUIU. Doctor has ever headed one of the universities in this country called Equator University. Doctor is married. Doctor has children, and the doctor has grandchildren. He's a parent, and he has mentored many people, including me who is speaking, and many who came before me. His CV is long, but in the interest of time, because he's going again from here to another meeting and function. So I would like to stop there as a summary such that we understand the kind of a person we are talking to. Having said that, dear doctor, I now have the pleasure and the honor to kindly invite you to raise up and address your beloved sons and daughters, the participants, and everybody who is here in this last function of our third edition of the debate, IUIFM debate for this year 2025. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Siraji, the university coordinator, who is one of the speakers during today's function. The deans, I don't know, Mr. Luwemba is among the judges, but I see him representing the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, where our radio belongs, through the Department of Mass Communication. I wanted to thank him and his team of judges. And after the announcement, I thought that there's going to be a war of petition. But what I've heard and what I've seen, we really need to thank that team. Otherwise, if they had not made that announcement, we would be here for the whole, I don't know how many hours. And I hope that there's not going to be any petition. Thank you very much, and we need to clap for that outcome. That is my first lesson to you and the purpose of this debate. That how strong are you to receive the judgment, to receive the announcement, to receive the outcome of the competition or of any kind of event. I know that there could be some medical officers here, or those who are hoping to be medical officers, or whether you have ever taken any kind of reflection. What comes out of the theater, and somebody is to declare that somebody has passed on. For the medical training, they call it breaking bad news. How easy it is, how difficult it is, today I can see that we are in the process of preparing you to withstand that kind of shock. So we need to thank the judges and the teams which have come to this level. I know that they say that it takes two to tango, and if other teams had not participated, the winner will not have been identified. So we thank everybody who has participated in this debate, and we hope that as we continue, we are going to develop more skills and competences related to this event or coming out of this event. Members, I almost started at the end of my speech, but I want to recognize the university coordinator who has already presented himself to you, that is my student and is continuing to be my student. I don't know that is true, but learning is a continuous process. So we need to thank him. The chairperson of this event, I don't know, Madam Nakasinga, whether you are the one or where is the chairperson, because we need to really appreciate. She's the one, by design, by default. Thank you very much for organizing this event. Our guild president, representing the student body here, we thank you very much, and your team. The patrons, I want to really see them. Where are the patrons from the different schools? Please give me that chance to see you. Thank you very much. We clap for them. Please. I'm the one benefiting most by seeing you, and you seeing me. I really benefit. The schools which participated, and today we have Nkoma SS. Where are you? Let's put up there. And Nakaloke Islamic Secondary School. Where are you? Yes. Thank you very much for accepting to participate in this event. And my prayer, did I tell you that I'm a teacher by training? Madam Nakasing, what is the problem? People are... The teacher is not allowed to talk when others are talking. Maybe there's something.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that we are coming to the end, we don't want to take a lot of time.
Yeah, that's why I started with...
So now, we can do like this. It's very bad for us to stop the intercourse, but let them move as they come silent.
Quiet.
Quiet. So thank you for answering.
Members, thank you for understanding that. Nkoma SS and Nakaloke, we have a very big history to tell, but the time is not enough. For Nkoma SS, where Islamic University in Uganda headquarter is a former place for Nkoma essays. Can we clap for that? For having accepted. Somebody was telling me about the history. Some students by 1988 or by 1987, when they were told to leave the place for the university, they had refused. But finally, they were convinced, and we really thank them for accepting. So, everybody should be asking, why are we here? Please ask that question. Ask that question to yourself. Why are we here? Are we wasting time? Hey, why are we here? Hey. Can you ask your question or yourself a question when you are talking? Okay. Why are we here? The reason is very clear, and at least the conclusion gives us the purpose of our being here. And that is what we want in the community. Patrons, thank you very much. We need also to thank the school management teams for the different schools which participated. And I think at all points, whoever participated in this kind of event picked a lesson. Our biggest challenge, or one of our biggest challenges, the context would be maybe Africa, and now it comes also, the politicians will also say even beyond Africa. But to our individual levels, let us take it. When you miss a target, don't kill yourself. Accept. And I know those who are facing the Qibla, you know what it means to talk about Allah's decree and predestination. When Allah has decreed that this will happen, it will happen. And we need to accept that. So for me, I look at that outcome as the biggest lesson to all of us. If somebody announces that so and so has died, somebody was telling me that one sheikh said or told them, never ask, he has died of what? What are we told to say? Those who face the Qibla? Meaning what? What does it mean? Members, these are the reflections that we need to pick from this gathering. For me, I'm almost statistically dead. Yes. Add 50 years to me, I will look like what? How about you to add 50 years? This to this daughter of mine. Would be the minister, would be the governor, would be speaker, would be any good thing, inshallah. Just add 50 years. But add 50 years to my neighbor, will be a big outlier, would be a moving whatever. So, and the Prophet has guided us. 60 and 70, bye-bye. Okay? Beyond 70 is a bonus. So when we go through these processes, we are training the future generation. And already, that is my message, accepting the results. And believing in the process, that what was taken was real and acceptable. So members, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Islamic University in Uganda on behalf of the rector, Professor Ismail Simbwa Jagenda, the entire staff, and the entire population of students. You have come at a time when maybe the mainstream student population is on leave or in holidays, but the guild president is here, and and I hope that he delivered his message. What would he encourage you to do? As I've said, that 50 years are still with you. Try to look at your potential and how you can support the development processes of the different institutions where you are coming from, and also this university. I know you are coming from different families. I also call upon you to support the growth and development of your families. The debate, I wish I had more time to talk about the motion or whatever, but the message is very clear. We cannot support the development of our communities, whether you like or not, when we are not mentally stable. And all has to be done in order to maintain the stability of the faculty. Faculty means the brain. Okay? That small box you are carrying on the top of your body is so much crucial, and it has to be protected. Those who are still doing biology, you know how the brain is protected. And therefore, because of its importance, and being at the Islamic University in Uganda, and knowing that mental health and being promoted to the level even greater than the academic programs we put up, Islam has already put up the strategy and the model or the paradigm or the system to protect, in addition to Allah's creation, that the skull or whatever system protecting the brain is so strong. Islam has come up with a system to augment that protection. Number one, taking intoxicants is haram. I think that is the first point where to protect the what? The drug abuse or that kind of addiction is totally against the teachings of Islam, and therefore we find that going through the Islamic perspective would add much more value to achieve good mental health for all our community members. Then also breastfeeding. I don't know whether this is outside the debate. Mothers. How many mothers are here? Let me see the hand. Okay, the potential mothers. Don't fear. This is by Allah's creation. I have a beard, and for you, you have breasts. No, seriously, this is a real discussion. What is the purpose of having breasts and having beards? Those with the breasts to breastfeed the what? The younger ones. And the teaching of Islam, the sheikhs are here. You guide me. How many years? People don't read Islam. Not less than 2 years. Why? In order to allow the mental development to develop to its fullest or highest level of development. What we see today, people are breastfed on what? Not breastfed. They are fed on which type of milk? Buffalo, camel, and you tend to behave like what? So potential mothers and mothers continue to breastfeed so that the mental health is augmented by that kind of feeding. I wish I had more time to derive more lessons and how we can protect. I want to end by informing everybody here, which I know that the university coordinator mentioned about this university. It is growing bigger and bigger, wider and wider, and we are calling for your support and protection. The reason why we brought you, I wish I was among the organizing team. Maybe next time when you come back, we would have gone to our new facility for the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, where we have an auditorium, a theater, which can accommodate more than 100 participants. But that would be for the next the next season. But for this season, this is where we are. And to inform you that where we are seated is our, I don't know the politicians, my teacher of political science is here. This is the seat, this is the place where decisions governing this university are taken. I don't know how you feel. I don't know. Maybe it takes some time to feel the impact of the place where you are sitting. Those who have gone to Hajj, let me see the hands. No, Hajj Ruwemba, you have not? No, tell me. When I talk about what happens during Hajj, there is a place which is called the Rawda. Anybody, those who are doing Islamic studies, have you read about that? What is that place? Who can? You see, I'm a teacher by training. Not by profession, by training. Who can tell me about Rawda in this? I think the majority you face the Qibla. Patrons, this should be even the debate for the next season. How do you feel when you are in the Rawda? You do? Okay. You don't know? Okay. President, just help me.
All right. Rawda, it is a place which is narrated that it is a place of paradise on earth. So whenever pilgrims go, they ensure that at least they reach that place to enjoy, to have that feeling, and it is most likely that when you reach there, even, and you pray to Allah to then the other side after death, the chances are high that you will enter paradise. Allahu A'lam.
So if you are in a place where decisions that govern the university, the second university to be established in Uganda, and you have got a chance to sit in that place, what do you want to see ahead of you? Success, only success. So I want to request you to take that position seriously. And in some universities, they call it the Senate boardroom. And for us here, we call it the executive boardroom, where decisions managing this university are taken from. Finally, this university is growing. 1988, starting with the 2 faculties, 80 students, 2 programs. But as we talk now, we have 8 faculties, and we are going to add the 9th faculty, which is going to be the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. I don't know whether the organizers had a chance to put on the schedule to allow you to move around and see how the environment looks like. It's a very conducive environment that enhances learning, and I hope that you'll be able to benefit from that in future. Technology. Today, patrons and managers of secondary schools, we have what we call STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now they have added agriculture. So I want us to take note of that. Then also there's the aspect of STI, that is science, technology, and innovation. Whoever has participated in this debate and reached this level, I request you to take note of those innovations and the new developments in our education system. I want to add here that congratulations to those who have been announced as leaders or winners, but at the same time, those who took the second position, the third, and participated, I want to congratulate them, because without them, we wouldn't have identified the winner. And the winning means a lot, and we need to see the benefits that would be accruing to this process of the debate as coming from the winning teams and the participating members of the different schools. I've been told that there were almost 14 schools, but Alhamdulillah, we thank them for accepting our invitation, and I hope that as we extend the second or the continuous invitations, you will be able to accept. Maybe to inform you that I'm the chairperson of the IUIU 93.1 Radio Development Committee, and it gives me that kind of interest to keep up with you, and let us work together in order to maintain this activity vibrant and beneficial to our different communities. Thank you very much, and I want to wish everybody a good life until we meet in the next session of the debate. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your views and advice. It's time for serving our awards, for giving out our awards. And we shall start with the best speakers. Then we shall have the best schools. We shall have second runners up, first runners up, and finally, the winners.
Best speakers, we have Kaiga Sharafira from Bugema Comprehensive.
Kaiga
Shafira.
Kaiga Shafira. Is she around?
Tibwende Mastula Hamdan Girls. Adupa Jerome Comeses.
Safira. Tibwende.
Tibwende Mastula Hamdan Girls. Adupa Jerome Comeses. Sibawaihi Mudathiru. This is the overall speaker. That's Adupa Jerome Comeses. Sibawaihi Mudathiru, overall speaker from Bilal. Yes.
Kaiga, is Kaiga around?
Kaiga is not here.
I think Kaiga is not around. She didn't
Chairperson,
attend.
keep.
Kahiga. Congratulations, our best speakers.
The best team is Mbale. The best team is Mbale parents. Yes.
Mbale parents.
And they are the second runners up. Their medals are their second runners up. Okay. This is for the winners. Okay. Yes, the vice director is going. So let's give the winners, commences, their trophy. Please come and receive.